Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Coaster Credits here, back with another video, and this is going to be a review of Phantom's Revenge at Kennywood. Now, this used to be an Aero custom looper, but now it's a Morgan Hyper, and it got redone around the year of, I think it's in the time span of 2001 and 2003, and when this coaster opened, there was a bunch of issues with the guests the first time. People were saying that the inversions were taken too quick and were pulling too much G-force, and they ended up actually moving or putting trim brakes on the loop first, and then a couple years later ended up removing the coaster. But then park guests complained about how the coaster was getting removed and how it was a very, they said beloved coaster, but they just wanted them to remodel the coaster like they did and turn it into an airtime filled ride instead of just a 200 or a hyper coaster with inversions at the time. Now, one thing that's really unique about this coaster, everybody mentions it, is that the second drop is way bigger than the first drop, and it is such a cool element to have on a coaster. And I think that this coaster as a whole is a really good coaster, but there's some parts that I just don't get about it. Like the straight track after the drop, I think you could add like a little airtime moment there, like Steel Vengeance. Another thing I don't get about this ride is that how they like slope, or after you go over an airtime hill, it's like you have to go up the next airtime hill. Like this one, you have to go like up into it instead of just making a full double down. But this does give really good airtime, but for what it is, I think it should have been longer, and for what it kind of praise it gets, I think people rave about it just a little bit too much. And it is a great coaster still, and it's going to continue to be the best coaster at this park, even though Steel Curtain is there. But I think that just this coaster is one of the most standout attractions that could be at a park, like a lower end park like this. And Steel Curtain and this coaster match up really well, but I just don't know what to put more first yet, but I'm pretty sure it's still Phantom. I only got like 2 or 3 rides on Phantom, and I got 4 in the Steel Curtain, but I only took a day trip there because I only live 3 hours away from this park. So I just think that, Phantom could be just a tad bit better. Not a lot better, it doesn't need to be a lot better for anybody to like this coaster. Just a tad bit better to be in like my top 10 or top 5. But this is definitely a top 5 hyper coaster still in my book. Now, one thing I really did like about this coaster is that it's the restraints. Literally, it's a seatbelt, and like you're in something called like a half restraint, is what I would call it. Because literally all it does is that there's a bar that goes over it. It doesn't lock in anything. It just completely locks. That's it. And these trains are really light. They're fiberglass trains, I think, and I think they're on Aero trains. So I think Morgan actually did a really good job with this coaster, and I wish Morgan would actually make more coasters like Lightning Run and this, because I think they do a stellar job at what they do. Alright, if you guys have enjoyed this video, hit that like button down below. If you're at all new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. We really appreciate it, and I will see you guys later.